First podcast ever.
Welcome to the Talkin Trash Addiction Recovery Podcast. We suffered in silence. Now we recover out loud.
Good evening. Welcome to the Channel 4 6 o'clock news at 8. I'm your anchor, Less is More, coming to you live from the Kandahar Waffle House and Grenade Cleaning Service. Today's top story. Today marks the beginning of National Diarrhea Awareness Week, which of course runs till Friday. Good evening, Talkin Trashers! We have a very special guest, a returning guest. We got Stevie M, who doesn't like going down that old rabbit hole, but he loves his bunnies. And now a man who saw the world's biggest fan this week and was blown away. We're going to go to Bradley Mansfield. Bradley!
Oh, hello, everybody. Old Timmy's having some Wi-Fi technical difficulties here tonight, boys. So we're gonna do our thing. We're gonna recover out loud. We're gonna do the same old. You're just not gonna see Timmy's bald head, but everything else is gonna. Everything else is gonna run as smooth as normal. So
wax on, wax off.
We may as well do the preamble, eh, boys?
Yeah, there, boys.
Sounds good.
All right.
Sounds good to me.
This is our humble broadcast, where ethics and personal anonymity are of the utmost importance. We run this podcast as an act of service to those whose lives have been affected by addiction. We don't do it for profit or notoriety. We place principles before personalities. We benefit from this podcast just as much as anyone else. We all work programs and choose to sacrifice our own anonymity to spread the word that recovery is possible. We do this thing in an attempt to show, as living examples, that no matter how far down the scale we have gone, we will see how our experience can benefit others. That's the 9th step promise. It's our creed we abide by here on Talkin Trash. We feel called to uphold AA and NA principles. We firmly believe that you can only keep what you have by giving it away. Please join us in a moment of silence, followed by the Serenity
baby.
Prayer.
Does anybody else got music in the background right now? I can't
God,
even hear you.
grant us the serenity to accept the things we cannot change, the courage to change the things we can, and the wisdom to know the difference.
Jim, you keep talking. I'm going to sign out, sign back in. We're having 214 is turning out to be a disaster.
Well, turn your mic. Is your mic okay?
Yeah, your mic is muted.
No, it's not.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Oh, I can hear
I
you
can
now.
hear you.
Yeah.
Hey, Trashers, welcome. We have a little bit of technical deal for killing. We got the wizard behind the curtain tonight. Timmy's pulling the buttons and pushing all the levers and all that good stuff. So we got, there he is. Hey, the wizard has returned.
This is gonna be a fun one, boys. I love it.
Oh, yeah.
Alan
I
Bunch,
can actually
good
hear you
evening.
now.
Well, it's a thing over here. Hi, Alan. Yep, Jenny. Hi, Jenny from Blizzle.
Hi, Jenny.
I can't play her theme song. I did 15 edits of the episode she was on that I kept doing Jenny from the block. I had to pick them all out to let the show not be copyrighted. So there's that. Julie Herbert, hello everyone. Hope you guys are doing good. Let's do our daily reflections. Shall we?
Alrighty then. I'll renovate your house later, Jenny. Julie. So there you go. Okay, kids. Are we sitting comfortably for June the 14th? When the going gets rough. It is a design for living that works in rough going. Alcoholics Anonymous, page 15. When I came to AA, I realized that AA worked wonderfully to help keep me sober. But could it really work in real life problems? Not concerned with drinking. I had my doubts. But after being sober for more than 2 years, I got my answer. I lost my job, developed physical problems. My diabetic father lost a leg, and someone I loved left me for another. All of this happened within a 2-week period. Reality crashed in, yet AA was there to support, comfort, and strengthen me. The principles I learned during my early days of recovery became a mainstay of my life. Not only did I come through, but it never stopped being able to help newcomers. AA taught me it's not being overwhelmed, but rather to accept and understand my life as it unfolded. There we go, kids. Let's refract on that one.
What do you
Lots
think,
of big
Jimmy?
words.
I mean, it's a big one.
Well,
It sounded like a
well,
bad
it sounded like a
song.
shit show. Yeah, like
Yeah.
like the only thing is like his truck didn't die and his dog
Yeah, right,
didn't get
yeah.
run over by a train. Like, and it's like I always say, life gets lifey. So just working through it, but having that support, right, and reaching out when the shit hits the fan, right, and just you can't do it yourself. And I've had instances in the past when I got in there like the first time. And I got this, and it just the shit show was like part 2, part 3, and it just got worse and worse and worse. But now, yeah, life's fucking crazily insane, but I know how to deal with it now. I have the tools. I have a support group that I trust. That's the biggest thing. I trust people around me now. Before, and I was always looking for a transactional. Okay, if I help you, what do I got to do? Right? What do I get from it? And now it's like, no, just helping through it. Bradley, what do you think?
I like how you bring up the trust thing because that's a big one for me, or was a big one for me. So, like, I always screwed up my trust with people for the actions and shit that I did. But on the reciprocal side of that, man, that was a big word for Brad. But on the flip side, on the flip side of that, I hate it. I couldn't trust people neither because I think the biggest part of that trust thing for me was Jimmy and Stevie and whoever else is out there. Is that I didn't trust people because I always thought they thought like I did, if that makes sense. Like the things that I did and the actions that I did, like the lying, the stealing, the cheating, the blah, everything that comes along with addiction and alcoholism. I thought everybody thought that way. So it was hard for me to trust anybody else because I always looked at them like they were like me. Does that even make sense?
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
So now that I have some trust in people, my recovery has gotten a lot easier. I still have my days, absolutely. You know what I mean? It's still not all fucking, doves and butterflies, but it's a hell of a lot better than what it was. And since I opened the door to trust and the willingness to let other people in and help me recover, it's gotten way fucking easier, boys. I can say that for sure.
100%.
Yeah,
What do you
exactly.
What do you think, Steve? Oh, sorry,
Well,
Jimmy.
same thing, that's I had issues with trust as well, and that's a lot of it was due to my actions, and actions speak louder than words, right? So I don't like to say I'm sorry, but I offer an apology. Sorry is just a word. So an apology actually means something, but when it's the same fucking thing over and over, eventually they stop listening, and then comes time where you got to prove it. That's put foot to ass, and you seeing more things, like people actually want you around. They're interested on how things are going. They actually listen to you instead of it just going in one ear and out the other, right? So, that's a sign of a step in the right direction. So, and you know what, like you said, I had a hard time trusting people too, because it's my actions that I might see in them, and it's like, okay, well, I know what I would fucking do here, so fuck you, like, but things do get better as we go, and that's so I was on house arrest for almost 3 years, so I just got off a couple of weeks ago, and that's a big part of the direction that I've been going. um by all intents and purposes, I should have been in jail right now. But as good as I've been doing, you know what? Even the prosecutor had seen that, and usually when they give you their speech, so they were going to present all of their evidence, and then the prosecutor came to my lawyer and said, "Look, you know what? I don't want to run this trial. Let's just come to an agreement here." And it was pretty good in my favor. But when the prosecutor gave her speech, usually they make you look like a piece of shit. That wasn't the case at all. She spent most of her time saying how good I've been doing. So, that just goes to show.
About recovery, right?
Absolutely, right?
Willie
So,
D, the place to
Will, how's it going,
be.
Will?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Nice
What's
to
up?
see you.
Willie
Sorry
D
for the
with the fast forward, baby.
Must have been going
Timmy
downhill.
boy.
Freaking like storming like a. It's storming really bad.
Oh,
You can-
yeah.
Motherfucker. It's raining like a motherfucker.
Yeah,
I mean,
we've
hey.
had some rank ones up here too. We got flooded out a few times, and there's still more coming. So
Steve sent me a picture the other day, boys. So here, I'm gonna just throw this out there. So now that me and Steve have become pretty good friends in the last couple of years, so he sends me a video, and he's got literally 5 feet of water in his fucking basement.
Oh my God.
Oh,
6 feet of water. It was
You got
nuts.
in the hole.
Yeah. So the funny part is, though, boys. So like, we've been to meetings over the years together, and he'll say things like this, which is awesome. I love this. He's like, I don't have bad days anymore. When I have a bad day, I call them a learning day because I can learn from it. I remember he sent me the picture of 6 feet in his basement. I'm like, hell of a learning day today, hey buddy.
Yeah, no kidding.
Oh yeah, that was a rough one, and it's like you look outside and you can't even see the roads. You can't see the sidewalks, the grass, nothing. It's like no fucking way. And there's a main pump house for the whole east side of town, and then there's one for the west side. So when I look out the back window, I can see that pump house, and it was flashing red. And I'm like, no way, that's not what I wanted to see, because that means it's not working. It's not pumping. So I come downstairs and I look, I had the main floor. So I got a drop floor. There's about 10 to 12 inches of water throughout the whole building on the main floor. And then when you come up, you're up about 2 feet, but I got access to the basement and the kitchen. And yeah, there's about 8 steps there. And there, I could see 2 of them. The water was just up to the second last one. I'm like, oh my God, I must have pumped water for almost 24 hours straight.
So I know obviously we're a recovery podcast, but could you imagine, Steve, if you were still all fucked up and on booze and partying and that was going on? Like, you know what I mean? Like, so
man.
having a clearer mind with all this stuff going on, you know what I mean? Like, you never went out.
I probably would have just left it.
You probably would have just.
Yeah, of course. Light a
Just
match.
fucking
and
left
say,
it. I'm done. I'm out.
Smell you later.
Absolutely, But as good as things are, it's like, you know what? There's always gonna be those days, and like Brad said, I don't call them bad days. I don't have bad days. I have good days, and then I have learning days. But there's always gonna be those days, right? So you got to do your best to just keep focused. I know. I keep my blinders on. I just keep moving one direction, and it is what it is. I'm gonna have good days. I'm gonna have learning days. I'm gonna have great days. You know what? Yesterday was a amazing day. It was my youngest daughter's graduation, so I was able to be there through the whole thing. So they do a little grad week. They spend the whole week doing different activities, this and that, and every day of the last week, she's calling me or texting me. She needs money for this, money for that, and it was easy. She got everything she wanted, and I made sure that it happened. And that's just another part of the recovery. So.
Yeah, that's another thing I was gonna say too, boys. So I got this from Willie. Willie's taught me this. It's true, like, because I always, if something was happening in my life at the time or whatever, you know, like stuff going on with family or something shitty was happening or whatever, I'd always instantly go to the bad side, like the dark side. I would automatically go to the most negative feeling thoughts ever. But, and like I said, thank you, William, for this,
Oh, you're welcome.
because
My pleasure.
like, but all shit aside, now I'm like, what is the lesson from this? What is God or my higher power or whatever trying to teach me in this shit show? So
Absolutely.
so having
Oh, yeah.
those moments, right? And I going back to the recovery thing, because to me, I would have never learned that or heard that if I never got an opportunity to be on this podcast and meet a good buddy like William. Do you know what I
100%.
mean? Or
Yep.
maybe I would have learned it, but it would have took a little more time. Whatever
Learn
the
the hard
scenario.
way.
No.
I may have learned the hard way.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I don't
so
consider them. I consider them now not like learning days. I consider it testing days for me. So I'm being tested on what I've gone through in the last few years and how I respond to it is like either I'm going to level up or just stay where I'm at. You know.
Yeah.
Yep.
and there's another good example. See, you just did it again. Boom. Because
Boom.
now instead of going, at least if you stay at the same platform you are, or you elevate from the situation, whatever reason, but you never look
Absolutely.
but you hear what William said. He'd never thought about going the other direction.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because the mentality that he has, and God love you for that, because no, okay, well, worst case scenario, I'm going to stay right where I am right now. And that's okay because it's still doing okay. Do you know what I mean? You don't think about fucking going down that rabbit hole and
Yep.
going the other way, right? So that's the power of positive thinking and the power of being sober and clean. This is how your brain thinks a little bit better, right? So
100%. And you know what? There's a positive to every situation. You just have to find it. You have to be able to see that positive. And
excuse me.
if you're always thinking negative, well, you're only going to see the negative. You know, you're going to get negative consequences, negative reactions. You know what? Turn it the opposite way. Think positive, act positive, and you're going to get positive. 100%.
And you attract like-minded people also.
Exactly.
Yes.
William.
Yep. 100%.
And Will, you were saying about like the tests or whatever, the lessons. And
Brad, you're muted.
if you can't, like sometimes okay, and you're trying to, and it's like you're frustrated, and then it's presented to you in a different manner, right? But it's the same lesson at core. And yeah, there's no passing grade, but just learning that lesson and moving to that, as Brad said previously.
But when I
moving to
figure out what test it is, sorry,
Yeah.
when I figure out what
Yeah.
it is, I just start laughing. I'm just like, oh, fuck. I'm like, oh, really?
Oh,
I'm like,
duh.
duh. I'm like,
Yeah.
you know. And I'm
Exactly.
like, it's just so, but it gets almost like it's a game, not a game, but it is a game. You know, you make it into a game. I mean, like it's a game for me, you know. So
Yeah.
Finding out what the problem is we need to solve, as opposed to not getting all like, you know, for fuck's sake, what's going on? Like, because that would be my first emotion. Like, honestly,
Yeah.
like,
Anger is the first one that comes out. It's the easiest one to show.
well, because that's the first thing we learned. Like when I was 6 months old and I wanted a titty and mom wasn't around, what'd I do? I yelled.
Mad.
Like, where's my titty? Right, or whatever. But
I'm not going there. I'm not going there.
We should, if Timmy's listening, maybe pop up the rehab centers and I'll read them out so we can welcome all our
Give them a big shout out.
Let's see if he does it.
or clip from last show.
Nice. Tim with the beard. Hi.
Oh no! All right, cool. Everybody's good. Yeah. We want to look at something from this show. It was a beautiful.
Are we role playing?
Something like that. Yeah. Larry gave us a good tire pump, and I watched it a few times, and it's a beautiful thing because it means so much to all of us. So let's just watch it real quick. A minute.
If there was anything I could say, and I've watched you guys for a long time, is you guys are starting to change the face of recovery. You're starting to show people that it's enjoyable, that it's fun, but it's also, you're extremely informative. You guys are changing the attitude of people towards recovery and addiction. You are actually breaking the cycle in your own homes and with your family, that it stops here. This shit isn't going to carry on for another generation. You should be very, very proud of that.
Yeah.
You know what, Larry?
said
Hearing
that
that
to
means
us,
a lot
boys. That
because,
Oh God.
again, for me,
Larry
speaking
said
for
it's like
myself,
Yoda.
recovery is fun.
All right, there you have it.
That was
Larry.
that
Wow.
seems-
Crazy.
and-
You guys can hear me?
oh yeah.
Yeah.
But
All right,
but
I'm
but
gonna
like
keep my
I
video
love.
off. I'll
Sorry about
sit
that.
back here.
No, but as Larry said before, like we're not. Well, I love what he said, but I've learned so
Is
much
that
more
planned?
about
Really?
what's out there to help people. Right?
Thank you.
Unbelievable.
There's just so many other options. Like Brad's got a guest coming up, and it's a recovery program that I've never heard of. And I do some research on, and we're having Elizabeth on, and just all these people that have different paths that can help us all. It's just not one. Here's your cookie cutting program. Follow it, or you're gonna dead or in jail or the same. You know, I just like the options. You know, everybody's recovery path looks different. Is not cookie cut. Let's just try it. Let's see what sticks, right? And that's the beauty of recovery.
And that's what that's one thing I feel like we strive on, and I think we're really good at that, is because, like, this is how I look at this. Like, you know, whether it's AA, NA, Smart Recovery, like there's so many different platforms out there, and whatever, who cares? Like, just pick one, what's right for you, make it work. But this is what I love about our show, because I feel like there might be somebody out there that's scared and doesn't know where to go and what platform. It doesn't matter which one you get to. Just get to one. Do you know what I mean? Because once you get to one and once you find your path, people are going to help you. I don't care if it's at NA, AA, whatever, Smart Recovery, whatever it is, because what it is in my eyes is it's about meeting the people that are supportive and that people that you can trust and that you're open with. I think every program out there has that, and it's about that communication and about learning about ourselves. So if you're working on yourself, mental stability, all that type of thing, and working on your recovery of whatever floats your boat type of thing, there, just
whatever makes you comfortable.
Just whatever makes you comfortable
in your own skin. You know,
Different world these days. You said the rehabs. I did do those. I did the other thing. Let's take a look at our rehabs here tonight. Go ahead, Bradley.
Bradley, go.
Welcome to Trash Talkin. Well, I don't see it here.
Anybody else?
There we go. So tonight's recovery centers is the Haven Recovery.
Serenity.
I say that prayer every day, but I guess I don't say it enough. Serenity Treatment. I hate that word. Serenity Treatment Centers, Discovery Recovery, New Hope Rehab, Sunrise Detox, Lakewood Oxford House, Surfside Sober Living.
Oh yeah.
And Paradise Sands Recovery Center. That sounds nice. And we also have Hope and Healing Clinic, Restored Recovery, the Haven Detox, Maryville Rehabilitation, PSR Prairie Sky Recovery, and Victory Homes. Welcome, everybody.
Oh yeah.
Welcome to the program. This you know, I liked what the first slate said. It said this is your chance and make the most of it. Where was that? Right here. We have an opportunity to change your life right now. You may not get another chance like this one. So I'm gonna fade back into the bushes.
I guess I should have read that. Sorry, boys.
Nothing's working. It's fine. It's one of those nights. But I'm gonna turn the music off and segue to you guys. Now we've done all our due diligence. So here we are, boys. Everybody relax. Everybody relax. It's gonna be fine.
Relax. Don't do it when you want to get through it.
Oh my God.
You just got us copyrighted. Now this
way to go, Frank.
Once they hear my voice,
Frankie goes to Wowoda. Oh
you
my
would
God.
think, but I mean, I don't know. You know,
Nice.
there's 19 of them.
Oh shit! Yeah.
What ridiculous people we are. All right, I do need to turn my camera off for bandwidth.
And
So,
there he goes. Bye-bye.
One thing I want to bring up, and I'd like to ask Steve a few questions on. So, it's Men's Mental Health Month, and for me, I feel like it's mental health year every year.
Life.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Life, because it should be. We should be working on ourselves daily on that anyway. But like for you, Steve, and I'm just going to ask you a question. So you've been sober, what, over 2 years now, I think?
No, it's about 1 year and 10 months.
Yeah, so coming up on 2 years.
Coming up on 2 years, yeah.
So can you describe to the viewers, especially people in the treatment center, where your mental stability is now to where it was 1 year, 10 months ago?
Give us an
Oh
example.
man, it's the changes are like almost not believable. That's I can focus on my day to days. I am, you know what? The biggest thing is I'm happy when I look in the fucking mirror. I
Yep.
wake up, I go to the bathroom, I look in the mirror, and I like what I see. There was a time where I didn't like what I seen in the mirror. I don't even like fucking looking at mirrors, that's but now it's I'm happy. I can smile. I don't think the same as I used to. I don't act the same as I used to. Um, you know what? I've got people still coming back into my life, and they see the changes, and they don't just see them, they tell them to me, and like, um, I just had a friend today saying how good I'm doing, and how proud they are, and this is a daily thing now, so there was a point where I didn't care what happened to myself. I didn't care if I was around anymore. That's I went so far deep into the rabbit hole that I did try to take my own life. And now I look back and it's like that's the stupidest fucking thing I ever could have done. That's I definitely don't think like that. It's been a long time since I've had that kind of a thought go through my mind. Um, I like the place that I'm at right now. I like where my life is going. The direction it's where it's supposed to be.
Yeah. And
That's we
it's amazing when you think about it that way, like, you know what I mean? How our thought process was before. Again, I can only speak for myself.
absolutely.
Like the things that I used to think of over 3 years ago.
Hmm.
Like I look back on it right now and I'm like, that was fucking insane. You know what I mean? My
Absolutely.
my logic of thinking, what people thought of me, my
Yep.
outlook on things, and and how I thought it was normal. Do you know what I mean? So we
Yes.
talk about
Yes.
mental awareness. Like there's an example right there where it's like Brad was probably not fit to fucking tie his shoes, let alone leave the house. You know what I mean? So
Hey,
once I
absolutely.
once I started getting sober and stuff like that and working on myself. And another thing you said, Steve, that definitely I recognize completely for me and in you, because I get to know you, get to see you quite often. Like
Yeah.
we don't recognize things in ourselves, and it's nice to hear sometimes, right? So I
Yes.
told that
100%.
story. I don't know if I told the story when you were on or if I told it afterwards, but like sometimes a fella needs a little wake up call, right? Like, so I used to say this all the time. I used to say this all the time, boys, at meetings. Like, hi, I'm Brad, and I'm only 3 years sober. And I don't know if I think I said it when Steve was on the show or not, but I just want to share it again. Like Steve told me, he's like, Brad, fuck off. I'm like, what? He's like, you keep saying it like you're only 3 years. He's like, man, you've worked hard to get
Those
at three
three
years.
years.
Be
Yes.
be proud of that. Don't
Fucking
don't
right.
don't sell yourself short. And,
Yep.
and sometimes in recovery, we need to hear those things, right? Because our
Hmm.
alcoholic and addicted brain, like sometimes we can still be our worst own enemy or whatever,
Absolutely.
right? Like,
Yep.
we definitely are, but that gets easier in time, and it has for me anyway, where I'm like, you know what, you nailed it, Steve. Like I'm actually,
I don't think I've heard you say I'm only 3 years since I fucking said that. I don't think I've heard you say that once
yeah,
now.
yeah,
So
go fuck yourself. You fix that, okay? Yeah. But that's what
but
we
it's
need
good
in
to
recovery.
recognize that though.
Yes, yes.
That's it's something to be proud of. It's not only 3 years, it's not only 1 year, 10 months. Jimmy, what you got years under the belt, 4 or 5 or more.
4.5.
There, yeah. See, so that's a long time. That's a lot of progress.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's it's recognize that as a good thing. There's a positive to every situation. You just got to find it. You got to be able to see it.
Oh yeah.
And the positive there is you're doing fucking amazing.
Yep.
That's
Yeah.
Yep.
you're not where you used to be, and I am grateful for where I am compared to where I was. So You know, just getting that little bit of extra freedom back there a couple weeks ago, man, that's it took a weight off of my chest, you know. So and
Well, no, it took a weight off your leg.
Oh my God.
Oh yes, but
This is
you
why we
know
can't
what,
have nice
KT?
things.
So the thing about it is I'm not gonna let that change the direction I'm going. You know, most people and even myself years ago, you know, getting into that situation, man, I can't wait for it to be done because I'm gonna fucking get right back out there and go do the exact same thing. You know, not this time, not this time. You know, I've overcome so many obstacles in the last 4 or 5 months alone.
Mm.
And it's, you know what? It's because I take things a day at a time. I don't live too far into the future. Sure, I'm going to make my plans, but I don't live up there. I don't live in the past no more. I I haven't closed the door on it. It's still there. You know, I still have my memories, but I don't have to live there anymore. You know, I'm living right here, right now, today, and that's it. I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, and I know what happened yesterday, and my only goal is to be a better person today than I was yesterday. That's my only goal.
Absolutely.
Well, Tim always says like your past can't change it. It's a place of reference, not residence.
Yes.
And
there you go. I like that. I like that.
Yeah.
Yes.
And dealing, that's Tim's copywriter. He'll send us a bill. But like kind of dovetailing into the whole mental health thing. It's like you can't fix what you don't face, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have to, you have to like breaking that silence and just saying, hey, you admit something isn't right, and dropping the I'm fine mask, and just you got to move forward, and then taking ownership, controlling that, like as Steve said, controlling and like planning your next move, right?
Yeah.
Having a game plan, but doing it today. Not saying mañana. Yeah, you got a plan. Don't try to live in the future. Don't live in the past. Live in today.
Absolutely.
And then building that support system.
And you know what you just said there. So I like the word fear, where it's fuck everything and run, or face everything and recover. And that's the way I look at it now. You know, I want to face everything. I don't want to just put that off to the side, or I'll deal with this later. It's got to be done now. Even if it's painful for you, you got to do it. Face it and keep going in your recovery.
Is William on here somewhere else?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh.
He's
I didn't hear. I thought he was gone too.
There he is.
but it's that becoming like not a different person, but becoming a more honest, grounded, intentional version of yourself, right?
Absolutely. Yes.
And just like you're not saying, well, taking on these airs and graces and bullshit. I'm still Jim. I just don't drink anymore, and I got a better life because of it. Because
100%.
the biggest thing, honesty. I'm honest not just with others. I'm number one honest with myself.
And I like that you said something about fixing stuff, like Jimmy. Like, and another thing is too, like, so I always created a normal in my brain that was always normal to Brad when he was drinking and using or whatever. So in this recovery circle that I've created, which is quite a big circle, there's a lot of people that do help me in my recovery, and I'm thankful every day for that. Sometimes those people point it out to me too, because I might not know it's broken unless somebody tells me, because I just keep walking through these steps that I normally go through, and it's normal for Brad. And so having friends in recovery and people that have possibly fucked up as much as I have, or whatever, or more, or whatever, or less. Well,
Been there, done that.
I've been there, done that. You know, so you need to hear that sometimes in recovery. So that's where, you know, your humility and your humble, you know, being humble and all that, like that, you learn on that as you go too, because someone will say, no, Brad, that's actually not right what you're doing. And then you think about it. Like, so having people like that in your life, that's where recovery starts as well too, because you build on that shit, right? So
100%.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Hey guys, come up here. Have a good show. See you later. Hi, Tim. How are you?
Where is he?
He was up in the top corner there. There he is.
Honey, I shrunk my Tim.
I don't know what's happening. I need an adult.
Oh God.
So
Carry
One
on.
shot,
I'm very
give it a shot.
entertained. Carry on.
Well, okay, I'm going to throw it out there. Okay, with having 4 guys here, it's
four
difficult
and a
for
quarter.
okay,
Four,
four and
yeah.
4 and 1/8.
Yeah.
It's like dealing, like expressing ourselves. Like we keep everything suppressed because suck it up, walk it off, and we
Yeah.
don't usually because it's that. Well, my dad didn't do it, my grandfather never did it. And it's just that intergenerational. That's what we were taught, right? Don't express yourself. Never, don't cry. And just it's been walking into this new arena, like when we get early sobriety, and it's like all this shit coming at you, and it's like holy fuck, like dealing with it. But taking the tools that we learn in early recovery, and you taking like dealing with like the first ones, like fear, guilt, shame, all that, and then all these other wonderful feelings start coming to you, like appreciation, honesty. Like that's just what I've experienced. I'm not sure how you guys.
That hits
you guys-
home. That hits home. Yeah, for sure.
100%.
Will, what do you think?
What'd you say?
What's going on right now?
I mean, I was listening, but like,
You're already invoicing for all the stuff
Yeah.
you did today.
I mean,
All right, that's cool.
I have the worst ADD, ADHD. I mean, like, yeah. You don't
Dude,
even
Well,
know.
when I play this, you need to shake it out. Not that. This. Oh, nothing's working right.
I don't
Oh,
care.
sorry. Keep going.
Not happening anymore.
That's
Here
our
we go.
segue. Where's our segue? You guys are
No,
gonna
those are Seggies. Those are Seggies. That's good.
working on things back here.
Poor Timmy. Did the cat finally eat the wire or what?
Nah, the Wi-Fi was completely out. And we're doing the whole show off my phone here. So it's
It's working though, boys.
I was going to say, if that's off your phone, it's working pretty damn good.
There you
yeah.
go.
If I put
You
my
got some
picture
5G
up,
coverage
it's,
over there.
No, I don't know what it is over here. It's not 5G for sure. I wanted to ask you, Steve, like from the last show you were on till now, has anything changed for you, like in any way, life recovery, between now and then?
100%. You might not have heard it yet. You might have cut out their case. So I was telling the boys there. So for the last 3 years, almost 3 years, I've been on house arrest.
Okay, yeah, right. Yep.
So
Good.
it was very difficult. You know what? Even the prosecutor gave me props because my conditions that I had, she said, were some of the strictest that she's ever seen. And I did superb. It was a while. I told Brad about it before I actually got off. But some people I just don't tell that to because I don't want them to think that I am doing this for the wrong reasons. You know what I mean? It wasn't, not once was that a condition of mine that I had to attend AA or do any kind of programming. That was all on me.
Yeah.
And, you know, even after, it's been a couple of weeks now, and even still, I still keep going in the same direction. It's not going to change where I'm headed. It's not going to change my goals. It's not going to change who I am anymore. You know, I'm still, actually, no, I'm not even the same guy I was yesterday because you're always growing. You're always learning. So I'm on the same path. And, you know, I attended my daughter's graduation yesterday. This is my youngest daughter. She's all graduated now. You know, things are they just keep getting better day after day after day. And, you know, I owe it all to the work and the progress that I've done and made over the last couple years.
Yep.
100%.
And that's, you know, I couldn't be happier. I couldn't be. And
So can
I
ask you real
actually,
quick?
yeah.
Good. You keep going. I just had a question. I'll ask when you're done. Sorry.
No, I sent the snap this morning, and I just said, loving my life, you know, I'm happy. And my one cousin, so he messaged back, he's like, what's wrong, brother? Like, what do you mean what's wrong? Well, I just told you I'm loving life. Like, I wasn't being fucking stupid, you know. I'm telling you, I'm loving life, you know. I am happy that of course, I sent the snap, but just a straight face. I just woke up. I think I was having a nap, and I had a coffee, and maybe he just didn't see the smile, but it's like, you know what? I am genuinely happy, and that is it's because of recovery, because of the program. I wouldn't be where I am today without the program, without you guys, without everybody that I deal with on a day-to-day basis. My boss, my friends, family, um, even my rabbits. Even my rabbits they keep me in line. That is they they keep me in check. Believe that or not, that is they're probably my biggest help. And
I love it. I love it. Sorry.
well, no, and that's it sounds stupid saying it, but that's probably my biggest supporters right there.
Yeah,
I love it.
Little shits upstairs.
I wasn't laughing at that. I'm laughing at the graphics of you and the buddies. That's why I'm laughing.
We got ridiculousness going
I
on
was
here.
laughing at that as soon as I seen it. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's you played that earlier, but there's me right now. I got 12 of the little buggers now.
Yep. See,
And then like, so for example, Steve, like you talked about like the program for you, right? And that's where everybody's just going to find their program. I find,
Yes.
because at the end of the day, like, I know I sound like a fucking broken record, but honestly, like, just find your path. And whatever led you into recovery center today, or wherever you are in your addiction or in your recovery or wherever you are at this point, just find your way, find people that you can talk to.
Yes.
And, it doesn't matter how you do it. Just find your way. So if you go to an AA meeting and it doesn't work for you, don't feel like that's the end of the fucking road.
Absolutely. Try something else.
Open up another book, find another avenue, try another program. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's okay to say that certain things don't work for you. So for me, I live in a small town, so AA is what I am offered here, and AA has got me to where I am. It's gotten to me. And you know what? It's probably gotten to me too over 3 years, but it's gotten me where I am today because I found my way and I found my tribe and I found people that are helping me. So like I'm just using that as an example. So I'm not a spokesman for AA, and I'm not going to sit here and tell people what to do. Find your fucking path. Find what makes you happy. Find 100%. What works for you, and fucking roll with it and recover out loud when you do it, baby.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Because you know what? I wouldn't say I'm more of a drug addict than I am an alcoholic. The last few years, I barely drink. I have one or two. Sometimes I got right shit faced, but my main issue over the last couple years that I was using was drugs. So I don't go to any. I never could. That's to me, it's like there wasn't in Regina a lot of sobriety for NA, and then I find that I know too many people, and there's always you get guys that come, they're looking for new customers. It's like, I'm gonna fucking knock your teeth out of your fucking head, like get the fuck out of here, like that. This is not the place to come for new customers, you jackass. Like, fuck, So NA wasn't the right place for me to be because I'm comfortable in AA, and you know what, I suffer from addiction, so that's gonna be drugs, that's gonna be alcohol, that's gonna be gambling, it could even be eating or smoking, right? Like I have that addictive personality, so I've got to learn to keep certain things in check. And the one that I just don't think I'm ever gonna get is the smoking.
Yes, vape. Why don't you vape? Why?
Never say never.
Vape.
I was thinking about that. I was actually thinking about that. It is,
dude. Off air, we gotta talk.
Way cheaper. Way cheaper.
I smoke mine when I'm in bed at night. But all right, I'm leaving. Sorry, go ahead.
No.
I'm afraid I don't want it to tank the podcast. So just keep going. I'm here.
So Willie, I got a question. Do you smoke and vape, Will?
Of course he does.
Yeah, I've actually cut back on vaping a little. Since I'm back outside working a lot, the vapes just fucking tear. I mean, like man, it kills my fucking lungs. I mean, like my doctor calls me and she's
What kind of a
like,
vape do you use though, Will? Do you
I
use
mean,
one of the big boys or
no,
just
no,
one
I
of
used
the?
to use like my favorite ones are the foggers. A fogger is a brand name because it doesn't like that's the one that is easiest on me. But
Okay.
I mean, if I'm working, I'm outside. I smoke cigarettes because the vapes, number one. I mean, I always fuck them up. I drop them. I put chemicals
Yeah. So
on
you
them.
tip
Then
upside
the
down in your
battery's dead.
pocket.
Then it's too hot. Cigarette, I can just hang that bitch out my mouth and go.
That's right, baby. That's right.
Thank you for the
Okay.
description there, Bill.
I mean,
Yeah, just like that. Yeah. Keep
yeah,
going.
right.
What?
But I mean, vape. I mean, like, or if I'm in my mom's car, then if I'm riding with her somewhere, I have to have the vape. I have to have the vape. Like, I got something.
You know what though? I find okay with the smoke and the cigarettes at work now. When I got it hanging out the mouth, I forget about the goddamn
Yes.
thing and it burns
yeah.
away.
It goes out.
And then well, no, they don't go out. I smoked. I can't smoke the cheap ones anymore. They're too harsh on me. So I got the premium one, the expensive ones. But man, the whole goddamn thing burns away, and it's like, oh man, I gotta light another one. It's like, fuck.
Yeah, pretty much.
There goes $20.
That's like me golfing, Steve. I probably smoke a pack of cigarettes at 18 holes because I got a cigarette in the cart, and then I'll get out and hit the ball. I'll throw the cigarette on the ground, hit the ball, jump in the cart, and gone. I'm
And
like,
forget your cigarette.
3/4 of a cigarette on every fucking hole. Yeah. But yeah,
Okay, so I'm glad you talk about golf because there's another thing, right? So it's all the time and effort that we put into our disease, put half of that effort into your recovery, and man, you're gonna fly through it. Find things to take up your time. If I'm not working, I'm spending time with my kids. It's summertime now, so now we're gonna start going. We have already been golfing a few times. We go to the park. We play basketball. We play tennis. We play soccer, football, baseball. Disc golf is another one. And if I'm ever home alone, actually, I'm never home alone. I always got the little rabbits up there. But if I ever want something to keep me occupied at home, it's my game, Call of Duty.
Yeah.
I find things that I'm comfortable with, and you know what? I'm by myself probably 80% of the time when I'm not working, which I'm okay with that. I'm comfortable in my own skin now. I find things that I like to do that I enjoy doing, and I'm fucking happy.
But isn't that a different feeling?
Mhm.
It is for me anyway.
Absolutely. Yes.
I was just gonna say something off topic for the viewers. So Timmy's having some troubles with his Wi-Fi, everybody. So anybody that's messaging, we apologize in advance that some of them aren't coming up on the screen tonight. We know you're out there, we know you love us, and we love you too.
That's what's happening, right?
It's showing up on Facebook.
Brad.
Don't worry.
I just want-
I'm checking it out.
Just want to chuck a deuces out here, baby. Chuck a deuces. Yeah.
Apple juice and Jesus, baby.
Apple juice and Jesus.
Apple juice and Jesus.
But I just wanted to touch on that one thing there, like Steve. Like, so before when I was alone, say if I was doing something, my fucking brain would go 90 miles an hour and I'd have to be doing this, or I gotta go get high, or I gotta go do this. Like, you know what I mean? I felt like I had to be doing something. So now when I'm home, I actually it's like, nice. I'm just gonna fucking relax, or even putt around the house and do something, like, you know what I mean? So being comfortable in your own skin, and I say this now too, right? Not that I'm a God pusher or anything like that, but I believe in a higher power, right? So my mom is my higher power. I don't really do the God thing or whatever, but I think my mom is always helping me get through where I'm at today. So I'm never really alone anyway. Do you know what I mean? So I always have somebody with me, right? Like God to me is a little, but yeah, I have a higher power of my believing that
100%.
helps me get through my days and fucking gets me to where I'm at, right? So being comfortable in your own skin is a way. It's a wicked concept that I never thought I'd be able. What is the score, Tim?
It's 2-0 Canes. Oh, it says 12-0. It shouldn't say 12-0. Look at
It says 26-20.
No, it's a football score. It's
That's
2-0
the year.
Hurricanes.
That's the year.
I know.
It's a
What a
good thing
night
you're
we're
cute,
having
Steve.
Where do you
Good-
see the score, Brad? I don't see no score.
I don't see
There
the
it
score
is.
either.
I was gonna. All right, you'll notice that the Carolina Hurricanes have 12. They should not. They have 2 goals, 2-0.
Oh,
Hurricanes,
there it is. Okay, I
5:38.
see. Yeah,
I-
Carolina Hurricanes
On
12.
the
But yeah,
bottom, yeah.
that's
Yep, my
was
bad.
that shots? Shots on
No,
goal.
when I changed it, I never got rid of the 1 when I changed it to a 2. That's all. So now it's all better.
It's actually
2-0
funny, like
Canes.
talking about mental health. And I'm sorry, I'm off topic. Just
Second
hockey.
period.
Hockey
Really? Really?
hockey made me think of it again. Like so, like even for example, like that Claude Lemieux thing that happened a couple weeks ago. Whatever,
Killed me,
right?
yeah.
Like there's the problem with mental health for mental health and as a whole. But like we've all said this as men, you know what I mean? Like Jim says, walk it off. You know, like we've all had that mentality where like I don't want to show my emotions. I don't want to show that I'm sad. I don't want to show that I'm, you know what I mean? And that fucking stigma needs to go away because
Yeah.
at the end of the day, it's okay. Like so most men, it's okay to be like, I'm scared. You know what I mean? So guess what? Brad's been scared numerous times. But before I never ever used to tell anybody because I'll put it this way. I felt like I didn't have big enough balls. I didn't want to let, but at
Yeah,
the
I
end of
get
the
it.
day, you know what? In the last 3 years of me being sober, I've been scared lots of times. But I
100%.
talk to people about it and I try to deal with it. Like so I just hope that stigma eventually does go away for people. And I think in time I don't think it'll ever go away. I don't mean it that way, but I think it's gotten better, right? So like when I'm almost 50, so when I was 20, it's definitely way
rounds up.
better. I'm rounding up just to make everybody feel good.
Yeah.
Very nice. Taking one for the team.
Yeah. So my point is though, like when I was in my 20s, that stigma was way different than what it is today. So I do think as a whole for society, we are evolving and I think we are growing and I think we're getting to be more communicative or whatever the word is, where we're working with each other. Do you know what I mean? So I feel like as a whole, we are getting better, right? So let's just keep that train rolling, I think, too, because it's like I said, it's okay to say I'm scared. And it's okay that
100%.
I have these emotions. And
Yep.
I've learned to be a better Brad by, like I've
You know
cried
what?
on the
It's
show.
okay to
I've
say
cried on
I'm
the show
angry.
before. Right.
Yeah, if you're
Instead
not
of
crying at
showing
some
it,
point,
try and communicate and just recognize the anger before you show it and then release it in a healthy way, in a healthy environment.
think
Like,
before we speak. That's what we never do.
absolutely, right? And that's the biggest thing that I was never good at. I act first and I think later. And then
Right.
it's like, well, I think I was a fucking dumbass now. Like, what the fuck was I thinking? Clearly I wasn't.
Yeah.
But
Right.
now we learn the proper tools and, we recognize our emotions more. And like, man, before I would never recognize being happy or,
Yeah.
being grateful. Hell no. The only thing I recognized was anger. And I was
Yeah.
good at it. I was the best at it, it's the easiest one. And now it's I know when I'm getting angry and it
Yeah.
doesn't happen that often. Actually, no, I don't think I've been angry since I got angry at my little male rabbit there. That's like when I text Katie, I'm gonna take this fucking rabbit and leave it in the field,
Lettuce time.
My dog
But
would find
that's
him back home. Don't worry. He loves bunnies.
Oh yeah, I would never do that. That's I've only given one away. And I give it to a very good friend, and I know it will be well taken care of. And it was actually his daughter that wanted it, and she told him, I'm gonna bring to you a PowerPoint presentation on why I think I should have a rabbit. She did all of her homework. Like, I was surprised. I'm like, holy. And then, he sent me some videos of her playing with the bunny out on the lawn. And, it's nice. And that's, man, I just found, it was like 3-4 days ago, I got this little tote and I got all the rabbit's treats in there. And I told the guy, I don't want no money. a good buddy. It's Joel, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going through. I was getting there's about 4 or 5 bags of treats left, so I'm going through picking the good ones out that they like. Here, there's fucking a pile of money in my little basket there. I'm like, that motherfucker. Like, he goes and leaves money in there. I'm like, you fucking guy. That's. But it's. I know that rabbit went to a good home, and it's gonna get as much love as if it was still yours.
Well, you got fucking 12. Don't hand that thing out. Hand them out like candy, man.
By next week you'll have 20, so don't worry.
Yeah.
No, I got them all separated. I'm down to 6 males, 6 females. They are separated.
Yeah, so if you do the math on rabbits fucking, that works about 1,300 bunnies.
Yeah, by next Tuesday. Just a regular Tuesday.
Well, my food bill a week has gone up substantially for these little buggers, so
I'm sure.
I'm gonna keep it at 12. That's absolutely
funny.
But
I like that one. I gotta get a shirt with that on there. That's
yeah,
good.
they're there somewhere. I'll help you find it. Yeah, we're doing just here. Steve, can I ask you? So, like, when we interviewed you the first time, I didn't fully grasp your situation. And I usually do that regardless, but I didn't realize that you were on house arrest for all that time, and like that's a whole conversation. Like I'd love to have with you, maybe even off air. I'm just surprised. I didn't know when I pictured you walking out the front door and going and being a foreman somewhere, telling everybody what to do, coming home, kissing his rabbits, playing with his rabbits, and going to bed. So like I did not know that you were in that kind of situation, and like
yes,
I'm fascinated. I really am. And
but
tip the cat.
You know what? There was a lot of people like, how the fuck are you on house arrest? You're out more than you're home. But it's, I work a lot, and I only had so much time for leisure activities. I used to get quite a bit. They would give me 2 hours a day for parenting, and then they, after about a year and a half or so, 2 years, they figure that my kids are old enough that I don't need to do any parenting time. My PO was pretty choked about. I think she was more upset than I was. But they took those 2 hours a day away, and then it was just the 6 hours. But then work, I get out for work anytime I need it. Sometimes they might have to verify with my boss, hey, are you working this late? Where are you working? But that was few and far between. I built up the trust with them, and it was GPS, so they always know where I am. But like, my PO had given me a lot of leeway because of the progress that I've made. Absolutely. So, like I would come home, and like you have to, so when you're on the GPS, you have to make a schedule for everything you do, and you're not supposed to go outside of that schedule. Wow. But I would go, I would stop at the grocery store. She knows that I have all the rabbits, and they go through a lot of lettuce. So I'm going to the grocery store every couple of days for the lettuce. I make a lot of stops, as long as I'm not making stupid stops at known drug houses, or, if they get the notion that I'm selling again, then they're going to fucking chop that right quick. Right. But
no doubt.
The progress shows, and, I've gotten good reports from my POs, and even the last one that I had, she's like, I just want to thank you for just being an amazing client. She's like, usually the people that I deal with are not so nice and not so good, and I have had no issues with you. And she just said thank you, and I was like, no, thank you, you've helped me more than she gave me extra time for this and that here and there. And it was definitely a hoop to jump through, but you know what? I did what I had to do. I put foot to ass, and like I said, no programming or meetings or none of that was ever a condition for me to do anything. I did it on my own, for myself, by myself, and not just for myself. That was the number one person, because if I want to take care of my kids, I got to take care of myself first, So that's, my kids are my number one priority, but I come first, That's most people, it's like you ask them, what's what's number one in your life? They say your kids. It's no, it's you. You have to be number one. Your kids are most important, but you are number one. Because if you want to take care of them, you got to take care of yourself. If you want to love them, you got to love yourself, you know? And if you're
Right.
not taking care of yourself, how are you going to do that? You
Yep.
can't. So yeah, it's just it was a good feeling. Yeah,
Incredible.
it
And
was
I like
incredible.
I like how you said
100%.
about taking care of yourself. So Steve, you just fucking said it all right there.
Yep.
Like, you know what I mean? So being on house arrest, for whatever the reason, doesn't matter, but doing it for 3 years. And I'm going to tell this story anyway. So when you and I went to that treatment center, for example, I remember the battery died or something. You had to call, and they were like, they knew who you were. It wasn't an issue, no problem at all. You were just leaving Estevan, coming back to the treatment center. Just call me when you get home. Like, so
Yes.
that
Yep.
you could tell by that. And maybe I should have, but I hope it's okay because it's too late. I said it.
No, it's good. It's good.
But like, so with that rapport, though, you know what I mean? Because
Yep.
by doing, putting foot to ass, all those things that you say, that's because you
100%.
evolved to who you are today. You know what I
Yes.
mean?
Yep.
Steve is now a better person than he was X amount of time ago. So
100%.
people, and that's the beauty of recovery. One of the many beautiful things about recovery is that people see that, and so these are people that aren't even your friends. Do you know what I mean? Like, and I don't mean it that way.
Absolutely.
These are people that
Absolutely.
you're dealing with through the judicial that system, the shit
Judicial system. Yeah.
yeah, that
Yep.
one. You know what I mean? Yeah, jujitsu system. But so what, do you know what I mean? So these people aren't like friends. These people aren't, you know what I mean? But these people are seeing how much you've evolved and how
Absolutely.
much you've done in your recovery.
Absolutely.
You're not being an asshole to them. You're doing what you're supposed to do. You're jumping to the hoops you're supposed to, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? And then they build trust with you because you're like, well, no, he's never fucked me over in 2.5 years. You know what I mean? You know what I
Absolutely,
mean?
right?
So
And see, that's another thing. So now that you mention that, so the battery, if my battery on that thing, I got to charge it every day for 2 hours. If it dies completely, you go back. You don't you don't collect 200. You go right back to jail. I tell you right now, that battery has died more times than I can count, more times than I got fingers, and
yeah.
it not once was it ever an issue. And
Except for episode 1 with us.
But but that's like you say, it's the progress, right? So had I been the same dipshit that I was years ago, well, I probably would have went back.
Yeah.
There was a time that I don't think I would have even cared. I stopped caring about everything. And then once I took the drugs and alcohol away, well, it takes a little bit of time, but you start feeling like yourself again, and you got to give the fog a little bit of time to clear. And that's it. Even still right now, I don't think I would say I'm back to 100%. Even at 18 months, you got that little bit of fog in your vision still, but
Oh yeah.
I got my eyes set on my goal. And my goal is simple and easy. One fucking day at a time.
Yeah.
One day at a time. Because for me, nothing else worked. I have tried it every other damn way. Marking days down, not marking days down. The only thing I didn't try was just taking it daily, one day at a time.
It's a pretty cool feeling when anybody in recovery, whether you're 10 days, 6 months, 2 years, 10 years, blah, blah, doesn't matter. When you have that awakening where you're like, wait, there are things worth fighting for. So that's a cool new experience that I got in recovery where I didn't give a fuck. You know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
I would drink and drug myself. I never really thought about suicide before, but I definitely didn't care if I died. And I definitely didn't care. I thought no one would miss me or that type of thing. But there was a turning point in my recovery, especially those first few months, maybe not. You know what I mean? But I was definitely working towards a better Brad. But there was a moment, and I can't pinpoint when it was, but there definitely was one where I was like, man, there are things worth fighting for. And there are things that are better in my life now that I am not using and drinking.
Yes.
And so once that moment happened for me, it's like, now it's like, okay, let's fucking do this, because I felt so much better about myself. I had more confidence. I had, all those things started happening in my recovery, right?
And you know what the number one thing worth fighting for is? Yourself. Go look in the fucking mirror. Look in the mirror. That right there is worth every minute of it. That is it right there.
Absolutely, right? And it's a beautiful feeling, right? Where it's like, I actually like who I am now, and I like how I treat people most of the time. I can still be a dick sometimes. I apologize. I apologize in advance. But for the majority of it, I'm a better person, right? So again, it's progress, not perfection. You know what I mean? So of course, I'm still a shit show sometimes, and we all are at some point, and we always will be at some point. But it's just a matter of how we deal with it and recognize it and address it and make amends and blah, all the things you're supposed to do, right? And that's what recovery is about. Like, so Jimmy, for example, like, I don't know. I keep going on about this podcast, but it's so true. Like, I'm so thankful that I'm part of this, because I get to learn so many different perspectives and so many different views, and like things that Jimmy does, right? Like, so, and I don't want to say only 4 years, because Jimmy's 4+ years, but like what Jimmy does for recovery, you guys, like he's out to the prison, out to the prisons. He probably sponsors like 3,000 people. It
feels like it someday.
I bet you it does. But so, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart, Jimmy. Like, people like me, I look up to what you do. Do you know what I mean? Because it says right in the preamble, we have to give back. Well, and Jimmy, I think you give a shit ton back.
Fucking happen. Okay, it took me 57 and a half years to figure this shit out, Brad. Okay.
Yeah.
And I was in the program. I was sober for more than 5 years at periods of time. But my real recovery, that progress began when the action first, and then the insight came second. Right. But I had to put the rubber to the road. Right. As you guys say, they asked to get the kick in the ass, because I realized I had lost so much, but it was just stuff. I lost time. So I had to that's why I love doing what I'm doing. Yeah, I'm spreading myself pretty thin. It's like I lost to spread around, but because I don't ask for anything in return.
Yeah.
Only thing I ask for people is just give it a try. And like we say, find what sticks. But I gotta say but you're also challenged. Like, don't find someone's like, oh yeah, well, you can still have a Mai Tai every day at 5 o'clock. No. You have to make a conscious, you got to make that progress. And it comes from action. So yeah, you got to push the comfort zone. You got to feel uncomfortable. You got to start feeling your feelings. It's just not stopping the use of your drug of choice or no choice. It's getting clean and then working on the coconut, becoming a better version of yourself. But you got to put that action in first, and then the insight comes with through the action. And that's the way, but it took me 57 and a half fucking years to figure it out. But you know what? I feel probably the best I've ever felt in my life. And as Steve said, when I look in the mirror, shaving's a lot easier now, because I actually like the person in the mirror, not in an egotistical way. I respect myself. And
what's your advice? Jimmy, what's your advice to ugly people? Carry on.
Don't buy Brad. Don't buy marriage.
Is this question
I identify?
No,
I identify. That's
the thing. We can joke about it. Like your first day of recovery, like if the people in those recovery houses, they're probably thinking these guys are a bunch of assholes. Yeah, but you know what? We can look back and we can laugh, but we can see the errors of our ways. We know we can't change the past, can't put the shit back in the bunny or the dog or whatever. But we've learned our lessons. And yeah, there's still going to be our addiction with us for the rest of our lives. Yeah. But we know we get a daily reprieve. That's all it is. It's a daily reprieve.
And there's
going and just moving forward and not living in the past and all of that guilt, remorse, and shame and blah, 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 and resentments. And Yeah, those feelings that come up first when you first get sober. Like, oh, those motherfuckers took me a goddamn recovery as assholes.
Yep.
Best thing that ever happened to me because I became humble. That was an emotion I did not like at all
No.
because was full of grandiosity. I was an asshole.
Jimmy, what happened? What happened? Explain the humbling process. What
The
happened?
humbling? Well, you get knocked out a whole. You don't get knocked out a peg. You get thrown into a place where it's a brand new arena where you never thought you'd ever be, and it's like, oh my god! And you think, how did I get here? And then, oh yeah, because I was a fucking drunk. And it all comes to light in retrospect. Okay, well, I can't change it. What can I do now that I'm sober? What can I do to start my road to recovery?
And everybody's saying one day at a time. One day at a time. You hear it all the time.
And like, when you first walk into the rooms of wherever, and you'll hear, just keep coming back, and it's America. And like some places, it pushes a lot of people away because it's like, these guys are a fucking cult. But, find your herd, find a group, find a community, whatever it be. And that you feel comfortable, but they have to push. You gotta challenge yourself to change. Yeah. You just can't stop using because all you are is a dry drunk or a dry whatever. Move forward. Make those positive steps forward. And it's as Bethany says, 1 second at a time.
Yeah. If you have to, absolutely. You have to 10 seconds at a time. Eventually you can grow maybe a minute at a time, an hour at a time. And I got to the point where I can live 1 day at a time now. And I'm happy with that.
But we want to just return back to the way it was. We want to put our feet back under the table and just think, look at me, I'm all clean and sober and everything's fucking fine. No, my friend. Like, you have to start. Like, sometimes I started over, you know what? But it was the best thing for me because I needed that conscious, not it's a geographical change, but I had to become a better version of myself. And I think, I don't know, maybe I love doing what I'm doing. I love sponsoring. I love spending time with people in recovery because because we call each other on our shit. We have a blast.
Yep.
We can talk about stuff that we wouldn't even share with our families,
Yeah.
And
I don't think a geographical relocation even works.
No.
Because if you still want booze, you're going to get booze. If you want drugs, you're going to get drugs. No matter where you are, you're going to be your self-seeking is going to seek it out, and that's you know what, just change, make that change. It's the actions, Jimmy, right?
Exactly. Like, I was living a sober living, and they brought in a guy who was 18 months clean, came in from corrections, and he was a meth head, and he was doing good. And all of a sudden, he started hanging around with his old group, and bang, I get a text one day, and he's dead. Age 32, 4 kids, and it's like,
it is.
And it's just, so you can be clean for decades, but your addiction, whatever, doing the push-ups, whatever you want to call it.
Yep.
We let our guard down and we don't keep our foot on the gas and just keep working our recovery and helping others because I find that helps my recovery. So that's all I gotta say.
I'm sorry, we're
Willy nilly.
You know what? We're not gonna just read the last two. Fucking thing. Today is a wash. All right, just read the last part.
If we maintain our spiritual condition daily, we find it easier to deal with the pain and confusion. Basic text, page 90 something. Just for today, I have worked hard to build my faith in a loving, caring higher power that will guide me through life's challenges. Today, I will trust that power.
Trust the power, baby.
Well, we're going to give it 5 minutes rather than going right to the outro. And let's talk about this because I feel like we're kind of moving in this direction, trusting in something we can't see, faith in something you can't see or hear. You have the faith, and your faith is built by experience, by putting it into something and it coming back. So this says, I've worked hard to build my faith in a loving, caring higher power that will guide me through life's challenges. Today, I will trust that power. Anybody, just what do you think about this?
I want to hear Willie's opinion because this is.
Don't do that first.
Okay.
I see. Wait, hold on. Let me reread this thing again.
Higher power. Will, do you like higher power? Do not?
Oh, I definitely love higher powers.
That is not.
Well,
Christ.
Okay, I'm joking.
Yeah,
Bethany's
nice.
like,
Goodness
Bethany's making
gracious.
fun of you. It's so
Yep,
bad,
no,
bro.
she's like, wow.
No, so I mean, like, yeah, I mean,
Wow, that's a big one.
essentially, basically, pretty much whatever I had to take a mindset of being. I remember when I was younger, my grandmother was like, "You always, or it's always everybody else's fault, and you're always negative." But I was like, I didn't. Like, I was in high school. Did not see it whatsoever. I'm like, what are you talking about? And I mean, I guess if enough people tell you that, then you start changing your mindset, and then therefore, I started pretty much being confident or having faith in whatever whatever the direction is going, as long as I see it in a positive aspect or perspective, then it can't, like anything, if it's positive, then I'm going the right direction regardless. And I have to have faith in that. And as long as I have faith in that, then that's what I believe, is if I'm positive, I'm good. If I'm negative, then that's where all hell breaks loose. If that made any sense.
Yep.
Absolutely.
It actually reminds me, Will, of I can't remember if it was last episode or a couple episodes ago, like being positive and like trusting your patients and stuff. Like, so you said something about people like waiting in line at the store or something like that. There's a reason behind it, and
yeah.
right, and
Yep.
but
It's
so
God's way of sitting your
it's
ass.
so I think everybody here in this podcast involved right now, and probably a lot of listeners listening, we never had that thought before. You know what I mean? Like, what is the reason this is happening? Like, you know what I mean? Like, so like I said, like you nailed it. Like, I am 5 minutes late for this because God wanted me to be for whatever reason. And with that being said, I don't need to even know the reason why. It's just I know there's a reason why. I don't have to be the one to explain it because I am not God. I am not my higher power. I have to realize that I am not the fucking center of the universe and I am not the one in control. So once I let go of that, that's where trust and higher power come in.
Yes.
It's really good for me because I would fuck that up really bad because I always wanted to be in control and I was the guy that always, you know what I mean? Like I felt like I had everything under control. But once I let go of that and realize that not today, Bradley, there's other things.
Bradley, come with me to the office, please.
There's other things out there, or whatever it may be for yourself, that are stronger power than myself, and to guide me through the things that I need to be guided through. And I don't need to know the answers. I just need to know that somebody is helping me out.
Come on,
if
somebody.
you don't have, if you haven't experienced faith yet, you will at some point.
Is right down the road.
At some point, right? Exactly. All right. Yeah, let's go to. So, what do you guys want to do? You can do whatever.
I
you
want to
want.
go to sleep.
There it is.
Early
All right.
morning.
Technical problems all through my cell
If
phone.
you
What
couldn't tell.
what a show. All right, everybody. Steve, thank you so much for coming on. We really appreciate your time.
Love you,
Thank
Steve.
you guys for having me back. Love you guys.
Anytime.
You're a good
Anytime.
man.
100%. You let
He is
me
a
know.
gooder.
I'll be back anytime.
I know it.
Cover out
Everybody.
on.